Hello. I've enjoyed reading all of your introductory posts on the discussion section of the Canvas site for English 245. In your public posts, as well as in your private emails, you shared both questions and concerns. So, I want to take time to answer some of the most common questions and to address some of the most common concerns. First, a couple people expressed the concern that because this is an online class instead of a face-to-face class, our discussions might not be as robust. I do understand this concern, as my personal preference as both a teacher and a learner is still for face-to-face discussions of literature. However, I hope that the 7 students in our World Mythology as Literature class this spring, who were previously students in my Masterpieces of World Literature class, 5 in the fall of 2021 and 2 in the fall of 2020, would tell you that we had some truly interesting threads on our discussions then. In asynchronous online classes such as ours, one advantage over face-to-face classes or synchronous remote classes is that students have more time to think before they make their respective contributions to the discussion. So those contributions are often even more substantial than they would be during a face-to-face discussion. Second, there are questions about Zoom. As this online class is asynchronous, we will not be having any class sessions on Zoom. I will likely use Zoom to facilitate at least some of my office hours though. Third, there were questions about lectures for the class. I will be recording relatively short lectures for the class, which I will post in the modules section of this Canvas site. If there are any slides that accompany a lecture, they will also be posted. Fourth, there are questions about both the purchasing of the textbooks and the reading of them. In terms of purchasing, when do you need the textbooks, and what editions of them should you purchase? If you need to spread out the purchasing of the textbooks, we will start reading World Mythology, an anthology of the great myths and epics by Donna Rosenberg in the second and third weeks of the class. For World Mythology, the 3rd edition will work the best for our class section, so please purchase that first. We will not be reading the translation of the Popol Vuh, the Sacred Book of the Maya by Alan Christensen until the second half of the course, so you can purchase that later. For the Popol Vuh, any edition of Christensen's translation will work, though I personally prefer the illustrated edition from 2007. In terms of reading, how many pages will you be assigned in a week? Please take a look at the class schedule at the end of the syllabus, which specifies how many pages you'll be reading in each of the first 9 weeks of the class. Fifth, there were questions about essays. Because this is a literature class, you will be writing interpretive essays. In that type of essay, you'll support interpretive claims about the literature with textual evidence. Sixth, there were questions about timed assignments, including timed writing assignments. No, we will not be having any timed assignments this semester. As long as you complete them by the established due dates, you can take as much time as you need to finish your quizzes, exams, or essays. Seventh, there were questions about the exams. The exams will be based on the contents of the text and the lectures and/or slides about them. Eighth, there were questions about how often you need to check for emails I send about this class, as well as about how quickly I will respond to the emails you send about it. In terms of checking for emails I send, once a day should be perfectly fine in almost all situations. In terms of responding to emails you send, from Monday through Friday, I will try my best to answer within 24 hours. Usually, I will answer faster than that, basically as soon as I read your email. On weekends or on holidays, it will likely take me a little longer to respond. For those of you who, like me, are now working from home, I encourage you to also establish healthy work-life boundaries. Those were the questions in the introductory posts and early emails that I thought you would all want to know the answers to. Finally, this is a question that no one has asked yet, but you may be asking it now while watching this video. Why do you have a purple door in your home, Professor? Are you a huge fan of the sitcom Friends? Honestly, not a huge fan, but I'm married to one, and I've promised my spouse that we will have a purple door in every home we own together. This is the second. If you think of another question about English 245, please either email me at cgreen@cerritos.edu or send a message to my inbox on Canvas. Please also feel free to participate in my online office hours from 10 to 11 a.m. on Tuesdays or on Thursdays. In the words of the theme song to Friends, which I have listened to many, many times now, I'll be there for you.